Now at 5, authorities in Labette County, Kansas investigate the homicide of a 28-year-old woman. Plus, parents in the Joplin School District say bus routes are continuing to arrive late every day. And
it's a race against the clock to find common ground. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill detailing a looming government shutdown and the Republican infighting holding up a possible deal.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Labette County investigate a woman's death they say was a homicide. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Around 2:30 yesterday afternoon, authorities received a call about the body of a woman found in a field near the intersection of 20,000 Road and Ness Road in rural Labette County. KBI was called in to assist and found evidence the woman, 28-year-old Kylie Caldwell, was murdered. Caldwell was last seen yesterday morning. If you have any information about her death, you're asked to contact police. The Biden administration has announced more than $1 billion in funding for rail infrastructure safety across the country. More than $45 million are going to projects in southeast Kansas. Southwest Missouri is receiving more than $12 million, and Arkansas is getting $11 million for a project that runs into Oklahoma. You can find more details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, parents in the Joplin School District are frustrated that buses are still arriving half an hour or more late. The Transportation Department has been experiencing bus driver shortages since the start of the school year, and due to the shortage, some bus riders are stuck at school hours after dismissal.
And there are certain things you're supposed to trust, right? You trust your school system and you trust your transportation system that you pay for out of your taxes, and you trust them to get these things done in a timely manner for you and not excuses, right?
We'll hear more from the parents and the Joplin schools tonight at 10. Well, a church in Baxter Springs, Kansas is giving new families a chance to connect to valuable resources. Crossroads Christian Church today partnered with My Family of Cherokee County to host a community baby shower. It's a way for new and expecting parents to learn about available resources, educational opportunities, and even win prizes.
Just a lot of fun. It gets resources out into the community. We have a lot of families that don't have a baby shower unless they come to this one, so it's really neat to be able to celebrate with them. We have about 14 different resource organizations around the room, so people also get connected to great opportunities and resources that we have available.
The baby shower was open to everyone in Cherokee County. Speaking of showers, we had quite a few over the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Yeah, since our thunderstorm Saturday night, we have dried out across the region and temperatures are pretty good. We've warmed up outside today, but the humidity is fairly low, so it allows those temperatures to quickly warm up. 81 Monette, 86 at Grand Lake, Pittsburgh sitting at 85, 89 in Chanute, and we're going to see very similar temperatures as we go through the week, but pretty much clear skies. We've got a few cumulus clouds out there, but overall, most of the Central Plains is looking pretty good. There is one storm system across the northern parts of the plains that will play a little bit of havoc with us as we get into the middle of the work week. But if you want to get outside this evening, of course, evening daylight hours keep shrinking up, but we're going to drop back through the 80s, 70s into the 60s for overnight lows. Of course, we're going to look at the entire work week all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The government is set to run out of money and shut down at midnight Saturday unless Congress comes up with a way to pass a spending bill to keep it operating. But fighting amongst House Republicans is making it look more and more likely that at least a partial shutdown is going to happen. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy sounded frustrated with some of his colleagues who were pushing towards a government shutdown.
Why would they want to stop paying the troops or stop paying the border agents or the Coast Guard? I don't understand how that makes you stronger. I don't understand what point you're trying to make.
But hardline conservative House members say they won't vote for any spending bill, long-term or short-term, without massive spending cuts.
Now, the folks that want to keep their word to their constituents, we're the bad guys. And all we want to do is have responsible government, ma'am. You cannot keep spending, you can't keep spending $7 trillion when you're only taking in $5 trillion.
McCarthy says the House will move forward Tuesday on 4 of the 12 spending bills needed to keep the government running.
Complicating the negotiations, GOP presidential candidates out on the campaign trail weighing in on the fight.
Former President Trump is campaigning in South Carolina. He posted on social media that he thinks the public will blame President Biden if there is a shutdown. So he's advising Republicans, unless you get everything, shut it down.
This will be a Republican shutdown, right? This is extreme House Republicans who have made it very clear that the chaos that we're seeing in the House, they are marching us towards a government shutdown. That shouldn't be happening.
The White House says politics could harm millions of Americans who will be impacted by a government shutdown. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, the White House added that Republicans agreed to a budget deal in the spring, and now House Republicans are trying to renegotiate that deal. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez says he plans to stay in office and is running for re-election even as he and his wife face criminal charges. They are accused of conspiracy to commit bribery, fraud, and extortion. The three-term Democrat denies the allegations, and Democrats in the Senate accepted his temporary resignation as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. Still ahead, how new laws are giving consumers more freedom to repair their electronics and appliances. And next, in Health Watch, a growing number of schools are training staff on CPR and how to use an AED to save lives. Topping today's Health Watch, there may be a more effective drug to treat type 2 diabetes and obesity than semaglutide, the active ingredient in drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. Analysis presented at the annual meeting of the European Association for the Study of Diabetes found tirzepatide is better for controlling blood sugar and weight loss. Tirzepatide is only approved for treating type 2 diabetes, though several applications have been submitted seeking approval for weight loss. Each year, more than 2,000 children in the U.S. die of sudden cardiac arrest, but CPR and automated external defibrillators can be life-saving. Bradley Blackburn has the story of one young man who had a very close call and how parents and schools can be prepared with kids back in the classroom and on the field for fall sports.
15-year-old Kanan Dickman was at soccer practice this summer when he lost consciousness.
We were on our second mile and I just basically collapsed.
He was in sudden cardiac arrest. He has no memory of what happened, but his mother, Pam, does.
I'll never forget his eyes because he just wasn't there.
Kanan's teammates and coaches rushed to help, locating an AED and using it within minutes. Automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs, can be life-saving. Data shows they can increase a child's chance of surviving cardiac arrest from 48% to 89%.
You can't hurt them with the AED. So if someone is unconscious, get the AED.
Dr. Naomi Cortez with Nationwide Children's Hospital says it's critical they're close by and used quickly.
You have 5 minutes from the time the person faints till possible brain damage and other end organ damage will occur.
Her organization, Project Adam, works with schools and communities nationwide to create heart-safe plans. Just 15 minutes of training can help teachers, coaches, even young students be prepared.
We ask that you do drills once a year to make sure people know where the AED is, are comfortable going to get it, and putting it on the child.
A life-saving step that gave Kanan another chance.
I can't really put it into words how grateful I am.
And a reminder the device only works if bystanders know how to use it. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Project Adam wants laws enacted to require AED drills in schools. The organization says schools should have traveling AEDs for athletic teams to always have on the field and at away games. Ginger supplements can help treat autoimmune diseases. New research from the University of Colorado found taking a supplement for 7 days boosted a type of white blood cell and helped the body control inflammation and clotting. Scientists say this could be especially helpful for patients with autoimmune disease, fight lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and even COVID-19. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, a tentative agreement between Hollywood writers and major studios halts a months-long strike.
Plus, our temperature is warming up a little bit for us this week. We're going to check that out coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm one for us today. Temperatures, they warmed up quite a bit as we work through the afternoon. As we go through the evening hours, we're going to slide back through the 80s, 70s, eventually into the 60s a little bit later on tonight. But it looks good. Look at this. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty much clear skies. And I think we're going to have, in general, clear skies as we go through the overnight hours tonight. All right, let's check out our drought tracker. Of course, we got rain, quite a bit of rain last week. So it's still I-44 and south, you are looking pretty good. Southeastern Kansas getting a little bit better, but we still have the extreme drought once you get up toward Nevada, El Dorado Springs, and then again, our far western counties. And we're not going to have much in the way of rainfall as we go through about the next week or so. We're hitting a little drier stretch. 85 Stockton, 86 at Grove, 89 in Parsons, a little bit hotter once you get into our far western counties, but still overall it looks pretty good. 7th and Rangeline sitting at 85, feels like 84. Humidity is not that bad, sitting at about 38%, which is decently low. We don't have much going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains is looking pretty good. All of Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, all looking pretty good. We do have a wave up across the northern parts of the plains that's going to at least give us some chances for rain by the time we head into the middle of the week, but the chances are very, very slim. They're not very good chances. All right, let's go through time. We're going to stop tomorrow morning right around 60 for an overnight low. As we go through the morning, we have southwesterly winds warm into lower 80s, or at least near 80 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon hours, very similar to what we have seen today. 85, 86, 87 degrees, a little bit hotter in our far western counties. Tomorrow night, we are going to get some clouds that start to work in. You can see a couple little tiny showers popping up. Here's 11:30 p.m. tomorrow night. Couple little showers kind of pass through. This is early Wednesday morning. I would say a good chunk of you end up staying dry. As we continue through Wednesday morning, a few isolated little showers, and then most of these are going to be gone once we get into Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures again mainly into the mid 80s of 4 high. So that's really our only chance for rain we are going to see the entire week. We'll start Thursday into the lower 60s once again. 63 to start, 80 by noon, 86 by 4, high temp tomorrow. Once again, right around 87 degrees. And if we look down the road, you can see this ridge of high pressure kind of builds in as we head into the weekend. So this is what's going to keep us warm as we go through the next several days. But eventually this system will start to affect us next week as our pattern is finally changing. We're going into our new pattern that's going to last for the next year. So we'll start to really see some bigger changes. 87 for us tomorrow, 86 on Wednesday. That slight chance for a shower, 88s all the way through the weekend, and then cooling down a little bit by the middle of next week. But if you want some nice weather, this is a pretty good stretch for us this week.
Yeah, it is. Decent temperatures. Can't complain about any of that for sure.
Looks pretty good.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, more and more states are passing laws giving farmers the right to repair their equipment. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Writers Guild of America and major Hollywood studios have reached a tentative deal to end the months-long strike. Officials say the tentative deal is for a 3-year contract. The details are still under wraps, but writers had been seeking higher wages, streaming residuals, and protections against artificial intelligence. Picketing has been suspended, but it could be weeks before writers get back to work as the contract is finalized and ratified. Uber Eats is taking steps to make sure more people have access to fresh groceries. The company announced it will allow customers to use food stamps for food orders beginning next year. Uber says it's making the change as a way to reduce barriers to fresh groceries for those who are most vulnerable. The company also announced it will begin to accept flexible spending account cards issued through Medicaid and Medicare Advantage. For years, consumers have been restricted from getting the information to repair their own electronics and appliances. American farmers have also been unable to repair tractors and other equipment they own. As Barry Peterson reports, new laws are forcing changes.
Zach Wood is steering tens of thousands of dollars of high-tech farm equipment, like a GPS-guided planter that won't seed the same row twice. But a computer glitch can shut it all down, and then farmers in rural areas can wait days for a dealer's service call.
Does that increase the risk that you're going to lose the crop to weather?
Yeah, your combine's sitting on the side of the field and you can't use it, and you haven't cut most of the field, and before it hails it off, then you lose the whole thing.
Okay, let's go over to the other one.
Zach's father, Danny, testified for Colorado's Farmer Right to Repair law, so farmers can get the information from dealers to do their own repair work. And he was there when the bill was signed into law.
Tell me why it has such resonance with farmers.
Farmers are not people that like to rely on others.
Some dealers for John Deere, America's biggest farm machinery maker, opposed the bill. John Deere declined an interview and sent an email saying in part, John Deere supports a customer's decision to repair their own products, utilize an independent repair service, or have repairs completed by an authorized dealer. State Representative Brianna Titone was among the law's sponsors and says right to repair addresses wider issues.
It comes down to a lot of the environmental issues around the consumer products that are just thrown away.
One study showed that if we repaired and used cell phones for another year, which would curtail, sometimes polluting manufacturing, it would be the same environmental benefit as taking more than 600,000 cars off the road.
So we need to replace that floor and that.
Right to repair will help farmers keep their equipment running. Critical, they say, to keeping them in business. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Pete's, Colorado.
There are right to repair laws in several states, and 24 other states are considering legislation. Lego has ditched its plan to make bricks from recycled plastic bottles. The toy maker made the decision after 3 years of testing the more climate-friendly recycled material. Lego said it found the manufacturing process of the alternative material would cause more planet heating pollution than the current production of oil-based bricks. The company said they also found the recycled plastic was not as durable and safe, and bricks did not stick together as well or pull apart as easily. Can't mess with our Legos. A final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how Taylor Swift's appearance at the Chiefs game is selling out everything from jersey to the shoes she wore. And then on KOAM News at 6, Joplin police arrest 2 people suspected of breaking into a home. Plus, Missouri American Water awards a $2,500 grant to the Joplin Humane Society. And we'll hear from the Missouri Southern Lions after they got their first shutout win since 2013. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. We'll talk about a doggone good time and a historic one to boot. Yesterday, Paramount Pictures partnered with two Los Angeles-based organizations and invited families with dogs to come see Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. 219 dogs and their owners came to see Chase, Rocky, Sky, and the rest of the animated canines in the Los Angeles Griffith Park. That was enough to set a Guinness World Record for most dogs attending a film screening. My boys loved Paw Patrol.
It was a good show. I used to watch it quite a bit with my son, so yeah, it's a good show.
Final check of the forecast?
Yeah, it looks good as we go through the evening hours. We slide back through the 80s, 70s into the 60s. 87 tomorrow. We're still going to have quite a bit of sunshine. We may get a random shower late tomorrow night into Wednesday, but pretty calm most of the week.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. And we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.